Hey, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm Wood. In this series, we're comparing two accounts that I started at the same time on the same day, and I'm playing the same way with one major difference. One account is free to play, the other has a monthly spending budget of $50. It's day 79. Let's check our progress. Hey, right before we get started here, I just want to tell you about a promo code quick. The promo code came out earlier today, right after I posted my video. I saw it, and it's "We Finally Played It." Just above my head right up here, you can see it says "We Finally Played It." It's like one energy refill and some like 10 brews and some silver. I can't remember if there's anything else in it, but it's not, it's not a huge one, but if you hadn't heard about it yet, it's some free stuff. So hopefully you can take advantage of that. Now on to the video. So just a quick one today. Thank you for joining me. We have a green border around the free-to-play account, and we have no border around the budget account. So you'll know when I switch back and forth and I don't announce my intentions, you'll know if I'm on the free-to-play or on the budget. Day 79, I'll go into the daily login rewards here and just show you. We got our 500 energy today, and I've been doing champ training and some ice golem. I realized I've got quite a bit of saved up energy, mostly on the budget account. If you come in here and look, I'll show you. See all this saved up energy I have on the budget? I'm going to use it. I've got plenty of gems. There's over 3,000 gems, so we have the daily gem pack going. We didn't really tap all that out, gathering our fragments for Packmaster, and so I'm going to go for the highest soul that I can on this Mithrala, in the hopes that we will get the Mithrala soon and be able to use that perfect soul on her. I'll show you just on the budget where we're at as far as the tournaments go. Ice Golem turn attack. We did collect the 50. I don't know, are they called coins? The serpent coins? Yeah, we collected the 50 serpent coins. I'm going to go ahead and get at least the epic book. I'm not sure I'll go for the chaos ore, although we're getting to the point where, maybe 6-star legendary gear is within our grasp, and we want to probably have as many of those as possible. It's only going to help us with the Path of Serpent event. So with the Path of Serpent event, we're doing kind of a dungeon diver. It's kind of a hybrid dungeon divers and summoning event, summon rush, and you get points per shard that you pull, not the quality of the champions you get. And been able to just work my way up a little bit on this. I'm not going to pull any shards for this though. I've kind of made peace with the idea that we're not going to go for the 5-star for the Mithrala, but getting maybe the 3-star I think is within reach, for at least for this budget account. I'm going to try to do it on the free-to-play also. And then artifact enhancement has just started, so we have that to look forward to. Yeah, and they've got 3 different levels of coins here. They have 100 coins on this one artifact enhancement event. Pretty high level, but we probably want to go for this epic book anyway, so we'll do a lot of farming in Ice Golem to get some silver built up. Silver, Ice Golem isn't the best for silver, but as long as you're using your energy and building some of it up, and you're careful with your silver while you're doing artifact enhancement, I think it'll be okay. I think we'll be able to do that one. And then on the champ training tournament, we haven't put as much effort and energy into the champ training tournament yet, but I do think that we are going to be able to do this one at least up to the coins. We'll do what we can, but we do need to do a lot of training. There's a lot of development that we need to do. I have decided, I kind of toyed with the idea yesterday of 6-starring Greybeard here on the budget account, just to help us with Spider. I need more control over the Spiderlings as we move higher and higher. We have the AoE HP burn with Skrank, so I thought our only AoE freeze is Greybeard right now. And until we get Ninja. Although Ninja I don't think works very well for Spider as far as the freeze goes. You have to go in and manually target one of the Spiderlings. If he targets the boss, the skill changes. I know we're going to have Ninja pretty soon, and that's very exciting, but it's not going to give us AoE freeze that'll help us with Spider as if we want to do it on auto. If we want to just do it and be able to get it over with, then we can use Ninja for that. But if I remember correctly, you have to target one of the Spiderlings because that whole skill changes when it's used on a boss. And they did that with the best of intentions, not realizing that that the AoE freeze might be good for Spider to be able to do that. But yeah, getting ninja is going to be huge, you know. But I'm thinking Graybeard we may be able to get him to work at least at level 50. I don't really want a 6-star Graybeard if we don't need to. If we can get him to work to be a little faster than my Skrank. The problem is my Skrank is kind of fast. Oh, 185. That's not too bad. We should be able to get the Graybeard over 185, and so that he freezes all the Spiderlings first, and then Skrank would go. The freeze would actually, and he won't freeze all of them. He's not 100% on his skill, so 25%, 40. So it goes up to a 40% chance. So if we get, you know, half the Spiderlings on the off chance we can get about half the Spiderlings covered, we can probably survive the attacks from the others. And Graybeard, you know, while I do like that skill, it's probably not the best for doing spiders. So I think maybe leaving him at level 50 is probably a good idea. So then that leaves me. I don't think we need to 6-star Prince Kymar yet. And so that kind of leads me into the decision I have to make between Necro Hunter and Xavia. And I think because of 2 AoEs and being legendary, I think Xavia makes more sense. I do have a 4-star or 5-star soul for Necro Hunter. I think wasn't it 5? It's a 5-star soul for Necro Hunter. And so, you know, I can see an argument either way. But he only has 1 AoE where Xavia has 2. And then she also has the block revive, which is something that we don't really have other than our Armiger, but we really haven't built our Armiger on this account. We have built him and 6-starred him on the free-to-play account. So yeah, I think Xavia might be our next 6-star. I'm going to sleep on it. Leave a comment if you want to have some input into whether you would go with a Necro Hunter that we have a 5-star blessing for, or a Xavia that's obviously a good legendary with 2 AoEs. But the fact that she's Force Affinity kind of hurts her a little bit. We can't use her as a campaign farmer, for example, because she's weak affinity to the stage 12-3. But yeah, if you have an opinion about that, if you have some insight to give, or if you see somebody else on the roster here that you think, you know, might be worthy of a 6-star, I'd like to hear your opinion. One thing I was thinking about also was Skathix, because of he has a 3-turn full team cleanse with a 1-turn block debuffs. And that would be a very, you know, he's one that we'll obviously need. Skimfos does something similar, but he also has some turn meter control. And he's also a very good one, and one that I definitely am planning on 6-starring. And then we also have Ursula the Mourner, you know, to be able to 6-star. And so, you know, maybe, I don't know, I've been thinking maybe I'm focusing a little bit too much on what will give us some more damage possibilities and maybe not enough on support. So yeah, I'm gonna still put some more thought into it. So in the meantime, I'll just be making some food on this account until I really decide, okay, this is going to be necessary. You know, we really need this. We also have Doom Tower rotation resetting in a few hours. Yeah, in less than 3 hours from the time I'm recording this. So by the time you see this, we'll already have a new Doom Tower rotation. And I want to kind of see where we're going to get stuck on Doom Tower bosses. I know that seems kind of like a myopic way of looking at things, but you know, I like to build champions to solve a problem and not just champions I like or champions I think are cool. And so I was going to build a Skathix because we were stuck on the Nether Spider. But the Nether Spider's going away, and I want to see what the rotation is next. I've never really kept track of what comes next on each rotation, so I'd like to see where we get stuck in Doom Tower Normal next month, because we got stuck on Nether Spider, I think on the 3rd. Which one Nether Spider was it? On floor 90. Yeah, we got stuck on the floor 90 Nether Spider. We couldn't just overpower it. And so we took a lot of damage on the spider's hits and on the poisons and not being able to nuke down the spiderlings right away and stuff like that, and which is what you normally do in normal. Normally in normal. So I'm going to look at that and see, if we have somebody who's going to slot into and solve a problem for us in Doom Tower. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because whoever we build is going to help in some other place, whatever we build that's going to help us get further in a Doom Tower stage is also going to help us somewhere else. And it's going to help it's going to help us in faction wars. Whatever faction we build is going to help us. And I want to save some chickens and some food also, because Ninja, we're going to want to build Ninja right away when we get him. So maybe that's the play. Maybe we wait and just keep building more and more food, and so that we have enough. We have enough to do a 6-star right now, but I want to have enough to be able to do 2 so that we can do Ninja plus somebody else. So over here on the free-to-play, we're kind of in a similar position everywhere. We've gotten some Ice Golem done here. We're a little further away on the coins on the Ice Golem, but we have done more champ training on the free-to-play. So I'm going to keep working on the free-to-play on that also, and haven't really decided yet who's going to be the next 6-star on the free-to-play either, although I'm really leaning hard towards Miscreated Monster. It's hard to go wrong with him, and we've already got our 2 OP champions 6 stars, so that's not an issue. Yeah, I think Miscreated Monster is the way to go here, although that does make us pretty magic heavy, but I only like to diversify if I've got a choice between 2, kind of equally good, useful champions. And Miscreated Monster can be used so many places, and he's just great to have around. And he's a solution for Scarab also. When you book out his this shield skill here, it's a 3-turn shield, okay, on a 3-turn cooldown. So he can keep the shield up as long as he's the fastest on your team. He can keep the shield up all the time on your champions, and if you've got enough turn meter control, you can do Scarab without any trouble at all with Miscreated Monster. He can be a lot of help in Spider also with his AoE stun. So he's just really good. I love Miscreated Monster, and it's a big shield. He does a lot. When he does a lot of damage, it's a huge shield. Yeah, so we've got the Serpent Titan event. I'll collect some of this stuff, and we've got the energy here to collect. And then Path of Serpent, we're going down kind of the same path. I don't know if you noticed, but we're going down this path first to get these 50, and then we'll probably go and get these 50, and then and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm not sure we can get down here to these 2 100 levels. I think we're going to try and go for the 100 coins on either side of this. Just doing Ice Golem, and we're doing champ training in campaign, so we are collecting a little bit Dungeon Diver points for that, but most of those come through Ice Golem. So I think I'm going to try and finish the Ice Golem tournament on this as well, and then we'll just see how far we can get on the artifact enhancement. That's a lot of those coins in the artifact enhancement, so they really want you to do the artifact enhancement. The progressives, I haven't worried about this because I don't want to pull any shards. So, but just to give you my opinion, I think Padraig is the best of all of the legendaries here. There's good legendaries here. I mean, they're all good, especially Ultimate Death Knight. If you want a solution for Arena, Ultimate Death Knight is really, really good. But yeah, I mean, Bad L is an incredible cleanser and poisoner. He can solo a lot of the early game dungeons. He's not as good on hard because poisons, for some reason they don't want us using poison anymore once you do hard dungeons. And then Wither's one of the best healers and cleansers in the game. Calvalax is a great poisoner. He's one of the best poisoners. He puts the poisons on before anybody even takes a turn. But Padraig, I think, man, he's so good with. He's one that I really wish I could have saved. He's one that I wish I would have had enough self-control to save shards for, so that I could have done the guaranteed on him. Ally attack is really useful everywhere in the game, but he's excellent. I didn't get a chance to go for him, but he would have been my choice here. If I didn't have any of these legendaries, he'd probably be my choice. But I can see an argument for going for Ultimate Death Knight because he's so nice to have in Arena. If you don't have a Necrit the Great or, one of those really good protection champions, he can protect from all the single hit nukers He's got great skills for arena, and you know, there's a lot of people that really hate this champion just because he's so good in arena. So that tells you something. If everybody hates him and he's not in the meta as much as he used to be, but he's still really useful. And so I could see an argument for him. I would personally go for Patrick. But on these, you know, I think if you're working on the Lady Mikage fusion, you could go for either the Aelfrig or the Delaja. And then if that's not really your concern, you can't go wrong with Rector Drath if you don't have her already. And then on the Voids, just my opinion here, if you don't have an unkillable clan boss team yet, Demitha is huge. She's also, you know, she can be really good in other places in the game too. Her block damage skill isn't the only useful thing about her kit. She does a lot of healing, and she does a buff extension also. So she's really, really good, other than just what she can do for you for clan boss. But for clan boss, she's perfect. You know, I as soon as when Demitha first came out, I kept her and I used her, and I built that unkillable clan boss team, and it's the team that I still use. And then Urgrim, if you've got clan boss taken care of and you don't really need a Demitha, although I'd still rather have a Demitha than Urgrim. So if you have a Demitha already and you're happy with that, and you don't have a Urgrim is very, very good. He's a very good poisoner. He's a very good healer. So yeah, he can be used in a lot of places in the game also. He's just not as unique in the game anymore. There's a lot of champions that kind of do what he does. When he first came out, he was as powerful, well, more powerful a little bit than Bad Alcazar because he's void and everything. He was actually doing more, so they nerfed him. And I can't even remember how they nerfed him, but I think there was a cooldown. I think it was a cooldown issue or something with his heal. Yeah. Anyway, they increased the cooldown of one of his skills, I believe. I think he was putting up 4 poisons instead of 2. I can't really remember now, but I do have him. I do use him, and he's a very good champion. But I think Demitha is better if you don't have either one. And then on these two, I really don't know much about this dwarf. I just know how cool I think this Essenza is. So she's the first champion that we have that puts up Poison Cloud. She only puts it up on one champion, but she does AoE, decrease defense, and weaken. And then she has an AoE on her A1 also. So she's to me she's very, very good, and so that would be my choice. But I know that this dwarf is good. I don't know anything about her. I just know how much I like the Essenza, and she's cool looking too. She just I'm gonna go in. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go in and show the artwork. Yeah, just a beautifully designed champion. Very, very cool. But yeah, she, like I said, she has an AoE on her A1 with the decreased attack and Poison Cloud, increased speed and continuous heal. You know, she puts that on one target, and then she can do the AoE decreased defense and weaken, which is a really nice skill to have. I mean, this in Hydra works really well. You could put this on your mischief target, and then they'll have one unique buff that can't be replicated from any other skills. And yeah, so I think she's really, really good. Could be really good for Hydra on your teams. Yeah, cool passive here too, where she increases this champion's accuracy by 10 for each buff on each enemy. So the more buffs they have, the more she can put on. And then, so wait, I forgot to tell you. So this decreased defense and weaken ignores block debuffs buffs. So if you're against a wave or something and they have block debuffs, this will ignore that and still put it on. And I think in Centranos this would work. I don't know how many Centranos floors we can use too many Void champions on. Maybe on some Sylvan Watcher ones we can use her. But yeah, she'd be a really good. She would be my choice. I don't have her on my main account, but yeah, she would definitely be my choice on that. And then the dwarf, I haven't really read her kit. Yeah, and the new dwarf, Senna Amberheart. So her A1, Amber Thrust, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance to instantly activate a continuous heal buff on each ally. That's kind of cool if they all have continuous heal. I wonder if she does continuous heal. Let's look. Her A2, Touch of Gold, places a 30% increased speed buff and 15% continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns. Also fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. That's a pretty good turn meter fill, along with the increased speed and the continuous heals. That's a pretty nice skill, and that goes down to a 3-turn cooldown. Her A3, Edge of Death, revives all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Then teams up with all allies revived by this skill to attack the enemy with the lowest HP. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. That's a really cool thing. I didn't even realize. I'm starting to think I didn't actually read this, because that I would have remembered. That's a really cool skill. So she revives everybody, and then everybody that she revived, they do an ally attack. I can imagine somebody could come up with some really creative ways of using that. Yeah, that's a cool skill. You could put her along with some really glass cannon, type champions that have really low HP, have them all die, and if she's in Stone Skin, she revives them all and then just nukes. And if they use their default skill, you could use champions that have an AoE A1, and you could nuke down the other team. You could almost do like a Ghost Second Blender team almost. That would be kind of cool. And then Healing Glow. Whenever a continuous heal buff activates on any ally, fills the turn meters of all allies by 5%. Wow. Yeah, those heals would give you a lot of turn meter. That's a cool passive. At the end of this champion's turn, increases the duration of a continuous heal buff on a random ally except this champion for 1 turn. Okay, so one random ally gets an extra turn on their continuous heal. So that's funny. That's kind of a funny one. I don't know how useful that is, although the continuous heals are very important to her kit, and they need to be on the whole team. So that's cool. And then she gets speed in all battles by 19%. It's a nice speed aura, all battles. And she's got really good base stats. Really good base stats. Yeah, almost 19,000 HP, 1,100 attack, 1,200 defense. Okay, so her attack skill, the only one attack skill she has is based on attack. But yeah, she's really, really good defense, really good speed too. Yeah, 113 speed that's almost up there with the top speeds in the game. And then she has 40 resistance, and I don't remember her needing any accuracy. Yeah, you could just build her really tanky with a lot of resistance and put her in Stone Skin. You could even use that in Arena. I can imagine some cool strategies, and maybe not something that would work in Gold 3 or 4 Live Arena, or Platinum Arena in Classic or anything. But you could come up with some cool stuff that just might be fun with her. That would be great. Yeah, she's cool. Okay, so I don't take it back. I still think that Isensa is one I would go for over her, but she's really cool. Senna's really cool, so I could see going for her on that progressive. But I'm not too worried about going for any of those progressives on this. It's the progressive chance isn't that much better, and we don't have a 2 times this weekend on any shards, so I don't think I would go for any of those. But I could see wanting any of those champions. It's a pretty good pool for the progressive. It's just excited about getting a ninja. We are kind of going for it on this Serpent Titan event. I think the Titan events are cool. So what the game has done, what Raid has done in the past, they have sort of infused the end of the Titan event with the beginning of the next fusion. They've done that, and I think you get sort of invested, because if you're doing both events at the same time, if you're doing the Titan event, you're going to collect, and sometimes they do it with a fragment summon. So if the next summon is if the next fusion is a fragment summon, so you get the Titan event, and it kind of overlaps with the next fusion, and so you've already got the fusion almost halfway done by the time the Titan event is over, and then you feel invested, like you've got something invested into the next fusion, and so it kind of, I think, gets people. I think they're trying to motivate people to do some of the fusions that way. So that might be something that they do. We'll see. We haven't had an announcement yet on what the next fusion is going to be, but yeah, we'll see what they plan on doing. But it's kind of a tricky way that they use to get us to invest it into the next fusion, even if it's not good. I never let that influence me. If it's not a good fusion, I still don't do it. Even if I collect fragments for it or collect some of the epic champions, if you're doing a fusion, the good thing, if it is another fragment, if they do 2 fragments in a row, which they usually don't do, but they have before, if it was a fragment, you could just save the fragments that you do by finishing the Titan event, save the fragments, and then sell them to try and get mod fragments. The mod fragments, I mean, just to give you an example, I'm going to go on my main account here. This is my main account, not the budget account, but on my main account here, you can see on the fragment summon, I have 50 mod fragments on my main account. I've been playing for 3.5 years. I've done a lot of fusions, and I've also not completed a lot of fusions, and I've also gotten more fragments than some of the fragment summons required, you know. And I had a lot left over, and I still only have 50. So I'm still, after 3.5 years, only halfway to this mod. So it's better than nothing. You know, the system they came up with for our extra fragments, it is better than nothing, but you know, come on, you know. I know there are people that are a lot closer to her than I am, but yeah, that's not very good. So I just wanted to mention real quick, I have a friend on YouTube that's made a few comments on my videos, and nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy. His name is Robert the Wit on YouTube. I don't know what he is. So he has this clan. Let's see who he is in here, if we can find him. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe it's Robervarius, maybe. I'm not sure. But he messaged and said, hey, you know, could you mention my clan? We're not full yet, and we're an active clan. So if you're an active player, looks like they've got a couple of people that they can kick. Plus they're not quite full still. Yeah, so they've got 19 of 30, and then they've got a few people that have gone inactive, it looks like. So yeah, if you're an active player looking for a clan, looking for an early game clan, because you can see we got a few players around 2, 3, 4 million, and then a few in the 100,000s, you know, just under 1 million or down around 500,000. So if you're an active player kind of around that level, and you're looking for a clan that, I'm assuming they put down, you know, a few levels of clan boss. Robert, if you're out there, yeah, let people know in the comments if they're looking for a new clan. Let people know in the comments where you guys are at as far as clan boss goes. How many of the clan boss difficulties you guys are putting down every day, and that may help people to make a decision on whether or not they want to move to your clan or not, if it's a step up for them. Cook the Goose is the clan name, and it's CTG9. And they're a level 7, so they're up and coming. It looks like they've got a pretty good core. I love the banner. This is beautiful. That's just so great. Cook the Goose. What? Very cool. So if that's something that interests you, and you're on the lookout for a new clan, that's one I would recommend to join. Robert seems like a nice guy. So, and yeah, he even talked about fusing with our clan, and I'm not sure our leadership wants to do that yet. I haven't been able to get a response, but I'll check into it, and we'll see. And you know, maybe we'll join forces. I just don't know. We've got quite a few active members. I'm not sure how that would work, but we'll figure it out. So Robert, thank you. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it a couple days ago. So I'm going to keep going on some champ training here. Thank you for your kind attention and all other kinds of attention. I've been Wood, and I appreciate you.